Hi, this is Kat with Beadaholique, and in this video I'm going to show you how to use the Beadalon Tassel Maker tool. Now you'll get all of the components here, but what you won't get and that you'll need is you'll need some cotton cord, and they actually have Tassel Maker cord, which is great. You'll need a couple of jump rings, a pair of pliers to help you open those jump rings. You'll need a flat nose screwdriver, a pair of pointed tweezers, and a pair of scissors. So let's get started. What you're going to do first is you're going to take your truss rod and you're going to find the midpoint, which is that center one right there. And very easily, you're just going to put your screw in and gently just screw it with your finger. And then take your screwdriver and you're just going to tighten it up. Oh, there we go. Just make sure it's nice and tight. And now when you move your thing, it's going to move with it. Okay, so now you can set your screwdriver aside. We won't need it anymore. So now to attach these. Now you'll notice that you can make tassels that are really long, tassels that are a little shorter. It's just entirely up to you, which makes this tool really, really great. So you can make tassels for the length of your project. So I'm gonna go ahead and set mine each in the second hole there. And you just put the rod in, add the washer to the back, and then you're going to grab a wing nut and just put it on there. There we go. And just tighten it really nice and tight, especially for this bottom one here. Now for the top one, same thing. You're just going to put it in the hole there, add my washer, and tighten it up. Now this one you can leave a little bit loose, and I'll tell you why in just a minute. But next, we have 4 suction cups, because as you can tell, this is already moving around as I'm trying to make it. So these are very easy. You're just going to place them at the 4 corners of the base here. Just press them down. And this will help keep your tassel maker in place as you wind. All right, so there you go. So now we are all set to make our first tassel. Now with the instructions that you'll get, you'll notice that you can make 2 shorter tassels or 1 longer tassel. And I'm going to show you basically where the difference is when I start winding. But let's take our cotton cord here, and I'm just going to leave it on the spool because I don't know how much I want to use yet. And take a tail, maybe of about 6 or so inches. And to this top rod here, remember we left it a little loose, go ahead and loosen it. And you're going to slide the cord in between the washer and the truss rod here. Let me try to get that in there and then show you. So you see how it's sort of stuck in there now? So I'm just going to tighten that up. And so that's going to kind of pinch my cord to keep it from, see it's nice and tight, keep it from unwinding. So actually I want a little bit longer of a tail, so I'm going to adjust that real quick, because this is what you're going to use to tie it at the end. So always more is better. And there we go. So now I'm happy with that. So now I have my spool attached to the top bar here. And all I'm going to start to do is I'm going to press down on this to make sure it suctions to my table. And now I'm just going to start winding. Okay, that actually looks pretty good. So what I'm going to do now is I'm going to finish so that again my cord up here is on the top. And now I'm going to leave a nice length here and cut that off. And now I'm going to take my tweezers and bring it around here. And what I'm going to do is I'm going to slide it in between the 2 bands right there that I've sort of created to make my tassel. And now I'm going to come back through and just tie a knot at the end, bringing it all together. And I'm just going to repeat that step. So through the 2 bands there, just get the end through, and then come up through my loop and pull tight. One more time, just for security. And pull it through. And there we go. All right, and now what I'm going to do is I'm going to loosen the top, and I'm going to get this tail end out. And this is where it's going to be different. So if I wanted to make one long tassel, I could take this off and cut right there. So it's one tassel. But to make two tassels, what you're going to do is you're just going to repeat that step on this side. So you're going to go up and over. And now, kind of taking this end, you're going to go through the middle again, up and around, and just make sure that you catch that to make your knot on top. And just one more time. And come through and just grab it. And there you go. So now I have my tassel wound and my two knots right here, so I'm just going to go ahead and slide that off of my tassel maker tool. And the first thing that I'm going to do is I'm going to take a couple of my jump rings here and my pliers, and just going to open one of my jump rings and slide it on to where that knot is, and just make sure I'm getting all the cords. There we go. And now just closing up that jump ring. And making sure it aligns with that top knot right there. Just make sure that is nice and tight. There we go. And I'm going to do the same thing on the other side. There we go. So now I have my two jump rings on either side there. And now what I'm going to do is I'm going to take another length of cord, probably about a foot or so long, and just go ahead and cut that off. And to one side here, I'm just going to tie an overhand knot. Oh, come back. Just tie a simple overhand knot. And what you're going to want to do is line this knot up so that it makes your tassel kind of come to a point. Just like so. Oops. There we go. And now what I'm going to do is just wind around a couple of times and then tie another overhand knot just to secure it. And you can tie a couple of knots. You can use glue if you like. We recommend either an E6000 or a hypo cement, whatever you're more comfortable working with. And then you would just repeat this step of making it a coil on the other side here, but I'm just going to go ahead and skip ahead. And I am now going to just cut all my threads here. So there we go. So I have my little tassel there, and I have this extra thread, but I have a knot there, so I'm just going to go ahead and snip that off. There we go. And now I have one of my nice little tassels. And like I said, you can do this with making longer tassels, and we also have a video showing you how to do this and making a cone on the top so you can use a bead cap. So there you have it. That is how to use the Beadalon Tassel Maker tool, and you'll find all of these supplies and more at beadaholique.com.